show with?
Yeah, we like to connect with a lot of buyers and retailers and food service as well, and the medians as well, because we are in the midst of really scaling up in the country, not only in Chicagoland. So we can really get into much more with the distribution, with the food service and retail partner here.
Well, thank you very much. Good luck with the show. We'll be back to try some more because you've got a great product, and anybody that wants to try some great plant-based meat, come over to the new Now Next, which is in the 3000 aisle. Paula, we're going to move and get something to drink over here, okay? Now, we have various incubators that are helping here to bring these companies. We've got the Hatchery, which is based in Chicago, a wonderful incubator. We've got the Rutgers Food Innovation Center, based in Bridgeton, New Jersey, a wonderful incubator bringing people along. And we're coming over here. We're going to be visiting with Stephanie. Stephanie has a product called Seraphim Social Beverage. So, Stephanie, could you tell us? Oh, you were wearing your jacket before, but you took the branding off. Showing the branding to do this, that's smart. So you've done events like this before, or is this the first time for you?
Second event. My second event, yep. Second trade show.
Could you tell us a little bit about your product, what the advantages are of it, and what you're looking for getting out of the show?
Sure. So this is a new social beverage. It's a wine alternative wellness tonic. So I really emphasize the wellness tonic because that's a niche that's I think what's special about it. It has no added sugars or preservatives, no artificial colors. It's all whole food. So it's sour cherry juice, organic sour cherry juice, wild blueberry juice, red grape, and then apple cider vinegar, some herbal extracts. So it's very good for your health. I have, and one flavor has oat extract to help calm your nervous system, and the other one is elderberry extract to help give you immune support. So you're having a special drink, a social beverage, kind of looking like everyone else, but you're getting these amazing health benefits at the same time.
So if you're getting really nervous when you're out with your friends, instead of drinking more wine, you should just drink one of these beverages, right?
Or if you start with one glass and you're like, I don't think I should do, because inevitably if I do one, then I want to do two, and then maybe three. So you can just switch right over and then feel so productive the next day,
So what do you feel will be the market for the products?
Women over 50 always say, I can't drink anymore. Pregnant women, men, sober curious. A lot of the young generation Z are really into not drinking lately. Wellness spas. A lot of restaurants now have on their menu non-alcoholic mocktails or drinks like that. And the other thing that I do that's a little different than I think other people might is I play meditation music while I make it. I make it with Rutgers so that the molecules have that calming energy in it. There's a researcher called Emoto. He just died recently, and he did a lot of studies on it to show how positive energy can really affect the molecules in liquid, and so that affects you. And then I also put amethyst crystal in the dry ingredients, and that also calms you down. So a lot of good things.
It sounds very calming.
Yeah, really.
But you seem to have a lot of energy. I guess you didn't drink any this morning before you.
A little bit. Yeah.
Have this and a couple cups of coffee before you come over. So, who do you look at selling this to? Would it be restaurants, bars, retailers?
Restaurants, bars, shops. Like I said, wellness spas, caterers, wedding venues. It's really, I could sell it anywhere because you don't need a liquor license. There's a lot of, it's great for a housewarming gift, or, there's a flower shop in town. They sell it because of the beautiful label with flowers. It's a great gift. It's a great gift for Christmas. It's also, it hits 3 trends: vegan friendly, non-alcoholic, and wellness.
Well, good luck. I hope you have a good show.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll come back and see you later. Thank you. Okay, we're continuing to walk here through New, Now, and Next to see what's going on here. The Oregon State Food Innovation Center has a lot of different companies that are participating here, and we're going to walk up and talk to one of the companies. He doesn't know we're coming, so this might be a little bit of a surprise here. But we're going to walk up and we're going to say hello to Craig. Hey Craig, my name's Ron Tanner from the Food Institute. We're doing a live broadcast here.
Excellent.
So we want to hear a little bit about your spices, about your products, and what you see as the opportunity, and how did you develop these products?
This recipe has been in my family So this recipe has been in my family for about a century, for about 100 years. So we kind of just used to cook for family and friends. And about 2013, after I got done with grad school, we decided to make it into a formal business. Yeah, so this is our Jamaican jerk spices. We have the Fimi Kingston Original. Then we have the Kingston Hot, same flavors, but twice as hot. And then we recently launched a Jamaican curry as well. Yeah, as far as what I'm looking to achieve from this expo, it's my first expo. I'm just trying to give my products as much exposure as possible. So I'm just open for every opportunity that presents itself, pretty much.
And which one is your favorite? Which one do you like the most?
They're all really good, but if I had to choose one, I would go to Kingston Hot. Because I'm from Kingston, Jamaica, and I think this really showcases the flavors of Jamaica and the heat of Kingston as well. So if I had to choose, I'll say the Kingston Hot.
How did you go from Kingston to, I'm assuming you live in Oregon.
I live in Oregon. I live in beautiful Happy Valley, Oregon. So I met my wife in 1998. She was a Peace Corps volunteer in Jamaica, and I worked for Peace Corps Jamaica, and that's how our paths crossed. And after she got done with her 2 years serving the Peace Corps, she wanted to move back to Oregon. So I moved for love 20-something years ago, and I'm still in love with the same woman. So it worked out great for me.
That sounds great, and it sounds like you're putting together a good product, so enjoy it. Yeah, we'll come back and try them. You know, we like to try different things, so good luck. Hope you have a good show. Thank you. Thank you, Craig. We're going to keep moving over here, and we're moving around the front over toward it's one of the startups which are here at the show. And it's an interesting product which is making a tea product. So we're going to move down the new Now Next Pavilion, keep going here and walking over toward Embrew Tea. So here we're going to keep moving. Paolo, we're moving. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at you. And we're coming over here and we're going to talk to Ashley. Ashley, we're here to hear a little bit about your story and a little bit about your product. Ashley actually lives near me in Asheville, North Carolina. I live in Bristol, Virginia. And tell us a little bit about your product and what you feel are the advantages of it.
Sure. I am the founder and CEO of Embrew Tea. I created a lightly sweetened high-end tea bag so that I could have a really great tea experience in those self-care moments that I desperately need, but without setting up an infuser, without needing honey or cleaning it all up, because I do enough of that with my kids anyway. So I can literally take a cup of hot water in 4 minutes, and I've got a really high-end cup of tea that I can enjoy and not be disappointed by a low-grade tea bag, for example. So I'm here at this show to find high-end grocers and boutique stores that have customers exactly like mine that are willing to pay a little bit more for a premium product that's handmade even. So I do use a co-packer, but we have people that are assembling the final stage of the product. And that's really important to me, to have a human part of what my product is.
And I see you have a bourbon smoked white tea. Is that made with bourbon or bourbon sugar?
It's a good question. So the name comes from the raw sugar that's inside. It's been smoked with authentic Kentucky bourbon barrels aged, and it imparts this magical oaky tart note on top of the white tea. So it's one of my most popular ones, totally unique. And what makes you ask about that? Are you a bourbon drinker?
I drink bourbon a little bit, but I haven't had any yet today. You know, but maybe a little bit later. So, but thank you. We're just going to hop over to one more. It's nice to talk to you. And we're going to come over here to speak with Nomad. It looks like she might be speaking to a buyer. So we'll see if she has a minute or two for us. Hey there. Do you mind if we talk to her for a minute? Okay. Ron? Ayesha, if you could tell us a little bit about your product as a hiker. It looks like you're ready to go hiking in Las Vegas today. There's not a lot of woods around here, but tell us a little bit about the product.
So Nomad started in 2017. It's out of a sheer joy and upbringing in the outdoors, and we wanted to bring something that was unique to the table that kind of inspired people to enjoy trail mix again. Trail mix has kind of gotten a bad rap, being too salty or too stale, and so Nomad kind of brings a new flavor into that world.
And she's got products called Dune, called Harvest. What's your favorite one?
My favorite one is Dune. It has a little spice to it, so it's toasted corn, pineapple, cherry, banana chips, peanuts, and Brazil nuts, and a host of spices and cilantro. So you get a little kick, a little tart, a little sweet, and yeah, it's the perfect just car snack or movie snack or trail snack or anytime snack.
Now, on your next hike, are you going to take some of your products with you?
I always do. I generally take the Dune with me on my hikes, yeah.
So thank you very much. We're going to wrap up here. Good luck with the rest of the show. And if anybody wants to come over and try some really amazing trail mixes, come over to the New Now Next Pavilion and talk to Aisha. Great. Thank you, Aisha. And here we are at the New Now Next. We're heading next over to the Deli Pavilion, where we'll be back in about 15 or 20 minutes. We'll be talking about cheeses and charcuterie and all kinds of other great products. And with that, I think it's done, Paula. We can move along.
All right. Thank you so much, Ron Tanner, the man with the master plan. Always love seeing him in his element. He knows everyone. Everyone knows him. Thank you so much for covering the New Now Next Pavilion. Hope you enjoyed that. All right. So the moment of the hour is here. So excited to have on Atalanta Corp, our title sponsor, www.atalantacorp.com for all your imported specialty goods needs, meats, cheeses, sauces, you name it, they have it. Traveling the world, finding the best of the best to bring it to your store shelves. And here with me today is the one and only Tom Gellert of Atalanta Corp, president, aka Grand Poobah, aka Big Cheese of Atalanta Corp, and also the wonderful, lovely Katie Baldwin, always with the answers, senior brand manager of Atalanta Corp. They're here to talk about Table One, a delicious line of ready-to-eat meals and cheeses, I think. Thank you so much for joining us, Tom and
Thanks,
Katie.
Susan. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Okay. So, Tom, tell us what Atalanta Corp is.
Well, Susan, you just described it. I mean, we are a food importer, and we're a source. I mean, we go right to the source of these great products around the world. We're not buying through middlemen. We're not distributors. We basically scour the globe and find the finest products that we can bring to consumers' homes through the restaurants or stores around the country.
Yeah, I love that. And your tagline, great tagline, to be a part of every food experience. So talk to me. I mean, you are a Gellert.
Sure.
Gellert's own Atalanta Corp.
It's a
family-run business. Talk about that.
Third-generation family business,
Yeah.
started by my grandfather. We're celebrating our 78th year. We're very proud. My father's still very active in the business. My brother and sister, myself, cousin, uncle. It's a family affair, but not just Gellert's. We have 500 plus employees throughout the organization that are part of our extended family. And to be part of every food experience, it's something that we feel we strive to be. I mean, just growing up in and around the business, you go to a restaurant and you look at the menu, and some kids with kids menus, they do the word find. They get we were doing the menu find. You look for, where can we sell our products? Like, what dish could we service with our products? Or we would walk up and down the aisles of a supermarket and seeing where our products were, where competitors are. So we just feel that we can fit a need through our suppliers' capabilities of every meal occasion. So that's what being part of every food experience means, and it sort of gives us a mission really to help service that.
Yeah, awesome. And you guys have been around for a long time, servicing that to many stores, many families, and one great brand that's a part of your family is Table One. Katie, can you tell us more about this great sounding product? Love what you brought. I was looking at it, when we were setting up here, and I wanted to rip open one of the packages and pop it in the microwave. So tell us more about this great looking line.
Yeah, so I think, as Tom was saying, to be a part of every food experience, we really took that experience part to light. And I think we noticed that there was a gap within our portfolio of that ready to eat. And so when we look at that tagline, what we really took from that is not everyone's table looks the same, and that experience looks so different for so many people. So how do we expand the portfolio? How do we expand our relationship with the people who are having our products to really be about that experience? And so not everyone's table looks the same is that inspiration behind the brand name. And it's not just who's at your table, whether it's your chosen family, whether it's your own family, whether it's friends, whether you're eating in your car, whether you're eating at your desk. Like, we recognize that there's so many different ways that people consume food. And so it's really being able to recognize that. And it's a message that we found is really, really resonating well with millennials and Gen Z.
I love that. I love what you're saying so much. I want you to take that microphone in your hand so people can hear you better. Excellent.
Thanks,
You were a wonderful microphone stand,
Yeah,
but it's time to give you a little break. It's time to give you a little break.
Absolutely.
Let Katie do some work. Let's talk about the products you brought. Let's take a look at the wonderful shot, the wonderful range of products. What have you brought over here? Tell us, it's really diverse
Yes.
range of products. Talk more about what's in Table One.
So Table One not only has ready to eat, ready to heat meals that can be great on the go, 5 minutes or less, but we also have an extensive range of cheeses. And so what we saw is that there is an opportunity, especially for a lot of the smaller retailers that we work with, where they might not have the ability to have their own private label. They want something that spans across the store, fills that gap, fills that need. And so when we look for that, we have our cheese line. But one of the new products within that I wanted to bring up was our cheese board collections. So you'll see that product in the back of our product display here. And it really is a great way to bring that cheese board experience to everyone. Then we have our ready-to-eat salads. So displayed here, we have the wild rice salad. We also have a quinoa salad, a lentil salad. All three of those are vegan, which really hits on the trends very nicely. And then our latest product is smoked tuna. And this is something where there's 6 different varieties, 4 of which are blended with plant-based proteins. And so I think when we looked at a lot of the trends in the past year, we saw lots of beef and mushroom burgers and things like that. And we wanted to take that to tuna. Really, really wonderful tasting product, really great for that plant-forward consumer.
Right. I love that you're touching upon all these, up and coming or currently, hot, market trends,
Yeah.
right? You're hitting all of those points. Now, Tom, just to finish up here, it's a great sounding product within the Atalanta family. What are your hopes for Table One as you're seeing these products hit the store shelves?
I just hope that people recognize here's an opportunity where we can share, some of our experiences that we found in sourcing these products that they can share around their tables amongst their friends and family. And that's what eating's all about. That's what joy is just celebrating, sharing, and bringing something that we found special, and people enjoying that amongst themselves. So yeah.
Right. Bringing people together through food.
Yeah, such a relationship. Like, we have great relationship with our suppliers, and I think that's really how we wanted to translate it. Like, that love, that eating experience, for sure.
Right. It's not just about the products. It's about bringing that community, that sense of community together, bringing people new flavors and bringing people together that way. I love that. Table One, where can we find out more about Table One?
Absolutely. So we actually have a brand new website. It is table1usa.com. So you can find our where to buy page on there and see all the different retailers and actually food service that carries that as well. We're seeing great pickup in C-stores for a lot of those ready-to-eat meals. So very exciting. Table1usa.com. And then we're also available on Instagram and Facebook.
Awesome. Okay, table1usa.com. You heard it here from both the horses' mouths. AtalantaCorp.com to hear more about this wonderful company in general. Tom Gellert, president of Atalanta Corp, Katie Baldwin, senior brand manager of Atalanta Corp. Guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Susan.
All right, that was awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. We are going to take a very quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk buyer relations with Michelle McDonald of SFA. We're going to go through the chocolate pavilion, so I know you want to stay with us for that. Don't go away. We will be right back. All right. Well, we are back. I hear some music in the background, but hopefully we'll get rid of that. Thank you, Brittany, my wonderful producer. This is live TV online, and we just roll with things when they happen. So I know my producer, Brittany Bohr, is always on top of things. So thank you for that. She's my girl. She's got my back. Anyway, I'm Susan Choi, your host for the 2023 47th Annual Winter Fancy Foods Show, live from Las Vegas, Nevada, Vegas, baby, at the Las Vegas Convention Center. What an amazing time right now. Brittany, can you please show an aerial shot of the show floor, all of the vendors, attracting all of the buyers? It is about those purchase orders. It is about getting those numbers in, getting those products sold, putting them on the store shelves. That is the name of the game here. But of course, also relationships, networking, communicating, coming together, right? And no one knows that better than Michelle McDonald, the Director of Member and Buyer Relations here at SFA. Our very own Brittany Bohr. Yeah, she produces this live stream and she reports as well. She got a chance to discuss what Michelle does earlier, leading up to this show. They had a great conversation, and I'm so happy to present that talk to you. It was really informative. Check it out.
I'm Brittany Bohr, and I am here with Michelle McDonald, the Director of Buyer Member Relations at SFA. Michelle, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
So, can we start by talking about your role a little bit? Could you define that for us and who the buyers are?
Sure. So my role with SFA is to be the liaison between the association and the buying community and help facilitate communication between buyers and back to the association so that we can best meet their needs. And as far as who the buyers are, they range across lots of different retail categories and channels. They could be from food service, they could be from club stores, they could be from country club or hotel, independent retailers, large department stores. I mean, really, if you think about anywhere that you go that has food, that's a buyer that we want to talk to, that we want to have involved in the association, and that we would like to have come to the Fancy Food Show events.
Great. So what does SFA offer for buyers to become a member? What are the benefits for them?
So buyers who become a member of the SFA, they are entered into our Key Buyer program. And so that would enable them to attend the show at no charge. They have access to our Key Buyer Lounge, and we do some nice things for them when they come to the show. We provide them with an upgraded bag. I'm trying to improve the refreshments that are offered during the show in the Key Buyer Lounge. They get early floor access so that they can map out their day, have quiet conversation with exhibitors, and just get kind of like a lay of the land, so to speak. We offer complimentary meeting rooms attached to the Key Buyer Lounge. So if there's a group that would like to set up a variety of meetings with vendors, they have a place to go and do that right on the show floor. Additionally, we provide them with a concierge check-in process, complimentary coat and bag check. And also we're working to implement programs such as like open calls. For example, if there's a category that they're reviewing, and the Fancy Food Show is a great place to do something like that because there's so many different manufacturers exhibiting that it gives them an opportunity to see a wide range of people in one spot.
So it sounds really advantageous for buyers to become members. So that's something to keep in mind. So how have buyers' demands changed over the years? What are some of the top things that they're looking for out of these products?
I think for buyers, particularly since COVID and the challenges that they're currently facing with freight charges, supply chain issues, it's really bringing back really kind of like shop local. And specialty food has always been about regionality, processes, artisan, better for you ingredients, things of that nature. And so I think we've gone from buying locally to buying more globally. And I think the trend is circling back to a combination of local and global, because that's what the consumers are looking for. And so for buyers, the coming to fancy food enables them to, find products that can help them shorten transportation from the manufacturing facility into their stores at a much more reasonable rate.
Right. And I know supply chain has been at the top of mind for everyone for the past going on 3 years now. So that is a very, very valid point. So as we're coming out of the pandemic, how do you see relationships with buyers and food manufacturers changing?
I think for the buyers and the manufacturer, again, it's coming back to finding products that are locally made, that they can keep on their shelves. Their shelves have to be full. If they have holes on the shelf, then obviously that means lost sales. And that isn't good for the retailer. It isn't, great for the consumer. Their goal is to keep as many consumers and shoppers in their stores as possible. And it's also about working with manufacturers who can help provide products and put together programs that are easy for the retailer to implement on the floor. As we know, part of their other challenge is staffing. And when they're low on staff in the store, it's harder to implement a more complicated program. So I think they're looking for things that also make their life at store level much easier as well.
Michelle McDonald, thank you so much for your time. You're the Director of Buyer and Member Relations at SFA, and I look forward to seeing you out on the show floor.
Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much to Michelle McDonald and Brittany Boer for that insightful conversation about member-buyer relations here at SFA. All right. Well, moving on, we're going to take you back on the show floor, back to where the action is. And we have, once again, our main man, Ron Tanner, here on the floor of the Deli Pavilion, going to show you some delicious meats, some cheeses, maybe some other delicatessen products. Ron, thanks again for joining us. Tell us, what have you got for us here on the show floor of the Deli Pavilion?
We've been walking through the Deli Pavilion looking at delicious cheeses and charcuterie and some crackers to go with them. You can see behind me, California has a big presence. A lot of the cheese in the United States is made in California and in Wisconsin. They're always competing with each other. But what we thought we'd do is we're going to talk to an importer of cheese and then a company that makes cheese in Utah. So we're going to head over here and we're going to talk to David about Old Croc. He told me he found it in a backpack in Australia, but I don't think that's true. So how did you discover the cheese?
Old Croc is an Australian cheddar, and in Australia the cows are free grazing, and they are eating, it's grass-fed. The milk is very pure, fresh. The cheese from Australia is amazing. My company is a primary importer of Australian dairy. And about 10 years ago or so, we had inventory here in the U.S. aging out. And we discovered the flavor profile was very unique. It's almost a sweet cheddar flavor profile. So when you eat this cheese, it's not so tangy as much as it's a really nice, bold flavor of cheddar. And you really have a great aftertaste. We discovered this and we said, we've got to put this in a package.
So when you say
it was the brand Old Croc.
When it was aging out, does that mean it was kind of going bad or just?
No. This cheese ages wonderfully. You could age this cheese 3-4 years. It's a low moisture cheese, holds really well. It's a true cheddar cheese, and a really good piece of cheese could age out for many, many years.
And I understand you're bringing in some organic cheeses from the United Kingdom as well?
Yes, because of our success here in the United States, Old Croc cheese is a brand that many people recognize in the deli and the specialty area. And we're in most supermarkets in the country and have done a great job in terms of getting it out to the public. the people from the UK, from the British Organic Dairy Company, realize this, and they've asked us to help bring this product in, market it, and sell it. And it complements our product from Australia. This is from the UK, and this is an organic cheese, and it's certified organic here in the United States. It's also a grass-fed product that makes it very nice, rich, wholesome. The flavor profile is superior. It's an aged cheddar. It's actually produced in the original cheddar cheese plant, right around in the Somerset area in their Cheddar, England. And the product is also from a facility that's 100% carbon neutral. And once you taste this cheese, you're going to be hooked. And it's organic, just like you would with our Australian. Once you taste it, most people come back.
Well, thank you. Good luck at the show. It sounds like you have some really interesting products you're bringing here. We're going to move over here to Beehive Cheese, which is from Utah. So we're going from Australia and Somerset, where cheddar was started in the United Kingdom, over to Beehive Cheese. And let me see here. Pat, hi, Ron Tanner. We are doing a live broadcast from the Fancy Food Show for the Specialty Food Association. Good. Could you tell us a little bit about your product? I don't think people think of Utah as a cheese mecca. You're across from California, so what do you have in Utah?
We love California. We're part of the California Artisan Cheese Guild. We're adopted into their guild, but we make great cheese in Utah as well. So Beehive Cheese we started about 18 years ago. My brother-in-law is my business partner. And he said, let's quit our jobs and go make cheese. And we laughed a little bit, and here we are 18 years later.
What job did you have that you quit?
I was a real estate guy, and my partner was a software guy, so we knew nothing about cheese. But we've had a lot of fun doing it. We're into our second generation now. Our kids are kind of running the business. But really the cheese that put us on the map was our Barely Buzzed, our coffee and lavender rubbed cheddar. We entered that in the American Cheese Society competition in 2007 and ended up taking first place with that cheese. And that's what really launched us into, we make just a beautiful, nice white cheddar. But then what's put us on the map is we put different rubs on the outside of the cheese. And that's what's put us there. The Queen Bee Porcini.
That's your new one.
That's our new one, front and center. 2 years ago at the World Cheese Awards in Spain, there were 4,700 cheeses, and that was the only domestic Super Gold of the year. So we were the only ones to bring home a Super Gold, the Queen Bee Porcini. My boy invented it, and it's got porcini mushroom rubbed on the outside.
It must be a wonderful cheese to do that well in the World Cheese Awards.
It's a great cheese, and it's so fun to see Americans competing on the world stage. People are taking note.
Do you do much exporting of your products?
Not at all, not a lot. We do a little bit to Europe. We're in the United Arab Emirates and Singapore, but literally very small quantities, mostly the U.S.
Great. Well, congratulations. You got a great product. It was great to see you there. We're going to continue walking. So we're going to walk here. Let's walk around the California Pavilion. You can see all the different cheeses here from California. From behind us, lots going on here. And we're going to head up, and we have to, in the Deli Pavilion, talk to somebody that does meats. And it's going to take us a little bit of time to get up there, but we are heading that way. And you can see here more California. I think we'll continue going, and we'll be walking up past some of the other companies. So we're going to walk up the next aisle here, Paula. You can see this is one of the busiest pavilions at the Fancy Food Show. A lot of deli buyers come to this show, and obviously cheese, I'm not sure if people are aware of it, but cheese is the largest selling category in specialty foods. It's the #1 category. And that's because there's a really great combination of imported products like the Old Crock and the organic British cheese and Beehive cheese. So a lot of really innovative companies from the United States, but still, a lot of those imported cheeses that continue to come along. So we are surrounded by cheese. If I didn't have to keep doing this reporting, I would just drop the mic and start eating everything. And I think Paula's having those same thoughts as she's glancing to the side. looking at the cheese. I think she's going to be back over here very, very soon. But we're continuing. We're still in the Deli Pavilion. We're heading toward what would be the front of the show, moving over toward a very historic pâté company. Pâté has been in the United States for a long time, originally came from France, but now is being made in the U.S. And one of the leading makers of pâté is in New Jersey, which is where the Food Institute is headquartered. So we thought we'd visit one of our nearby friends here and learn a little bit about the company going forward. So we're moving over here. Hey there. Alexandra is talking to a buyer, so we're going to wait for a minute. But you can see here they've got the vegetable pâté, very well known for their vegetable pâtés. Truffle mousse, duck liver mousse, a pheasant and rosemary pâté. So they've got great, great products. Very successful here in the United States, and I believe they're headquartered in Neptune, New Jersey. So a great company that's been around, for quite a while and has had some transitions going forward. So we are going to move in and talk to Alexandra as soon as she finishes talking to these buyers here. So good. Oh, here we go. Yeah, too busy doing business to talk to us here. So I want to hear a little bit about the history of the company, but I know too that your mother started the company and you've taken it over, the second generation. So talk a little bit about how it is to continue this legacy of such a well-known and tasty pâté company.
Thank you. So I have some large shoes to fill. We celebrate our 41st anniversary this year. So we've been in business for 41 years in New Jersey. We make everything in-house. It's really an honor to carry on my family's legacy. We are just so proud to be family-owned and women-owned. Big shoes to fill, and I'm so sorry. I apologize. Too many things happening at the moment.
She's getting calls from buyers, Actually, she's probably getting calls from people at home. But anyway, we'll pretend they're buyers.
Actually, that was my mom calling. She's here at the show this year. So we make 20 different pâtés. They are all natural, no preservatives, no additives, no added colors or anything like that. We've been in business since '82, and we also have a sister brand, Grotzinger brand, which is a line of Eastern European style meats. So my family actually started the business. My dad came from Germany. He was a charcuterie master and sausage maker. So all of the recipes that you see here today are his, and or variations of his.
I'm recalling you were one of the first companies to make vegetarian pâtés. Is that an important part of your business, and is that becoming a more important part, or are people going more back to the meat products?
They're not actually technically vegetarian. They are vegetable-based. We have 3 vegetable-based pâtés and 3 vegan pâtés, so those are essentially vegetarian. We are one of the first companies to do that, and it is a great line for us. It certainly differentiates us from the competition. We do have our mixed vegetable pâté, which is a beautiful color, really merchandises the show.
What do you expect to get from the Fancy Food Show? You were probably doing them when you were 16 years old, I would guess.
If I was allowed in the building, I think at the time you have to be 18 or something to be in here, but we've been here since '96. So we're always happy to be here showing our products and hopefully getting new customers, big distributors and also retailers, and also seeing our wonderful current customers that have kept us here for 41 years.
Well, good luck with the rest of the show. It was really nice to see you. Say hi to your mom for me when she comes by. Oh, she says hi too. Okay, well, I'll be back to say hi to her and tell her she has to do some work. You can't just take it easy for the rest of your life, right? And make you and Donna do all this. So with that, we're going to just go and take another big look here at the pavilion. You can see European imports. As I'm going to head over there, they are a big importer of cheese and deli meats based in Chicago, where our camera person is based. and have a lot of great products there as well. So a lot of large companies in the cheese business, but a lot of all small companies as well. So it's a great combination of big and little, and that's really what you see at the Fancy Food Show. There's a lot of larger, very successful companies and a lot of small successful companies as well, and then companies like we saw at the New Now Next that are just beginning to start and will be successful companies in the future, I hope. So with that, I think we're going to go back to Susan at the booth. So Susan, I'm going to throw it back to you.
For showing us a wonderful view of the Deli Pavilion. Thank you, Ron. Always the guy with the answers, always the man that everyone wants to talk to, catch up with. He knows everyone here at the Specialty Food Association, here at Fancy Foods Show. And I think you may know Nona Lim, who's here with me. Do you know Ron, Nona?
Absolutely.
You know Ron. Yeah.
Yeah.
He is the guy to know, is he not?
Absolutely. In fact, he was the one that brought me into the SFA when I first volunteered as the diversity chair many years ago.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I need to give this lady a proper introduction because she is such a dynamo. She is the founder of Nona Lim, a wonderful line of clean, wonderful tasting Asian products. She is also the vice chair of the board of directors for Specialty Food Association. Yes, once again, Nona Lim, ladies and gentlemen. Nona, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, all right. So, being here, this is the 47th annual Winter Fancy Foods Show. This is the second time it's in Vegas. And I loved seeing you. You looked so great at the ribbon cutting ceremony with Bill Lynch and all the other big figures of SFA. Tell me, how are you feeling being here?
Oh, it's so exciting, right? Because I think that we didn't have shows for a few years, and Vegas last year was the first time the shows came back. It was a much smaller show, much more intimate, and it's awesome to see all the energy at this show, all the new brands, all the new products, from our members.
Right, great. I mean, and especially, with you being the vice chair of the board of directors, that's a very important position. Tell me, how long have you been on the board? How long have you been vice chair of the board?
I have been on the board since I think 2018. At that time, I was the very first female Asian board director that in the board's history of over 20 plus years, and so that was it was a huge honor for me. And I've been vice chair now for 2 years. This is my second year as a vice chair.
That's wonderful. So, I mean, that's a good number of years being on the board. Tell me, what has your experience been being, in such a position of leadership? What have been some of the issues, the challenges that the board has faced, when it comes to the specialty food industry, some of the challenges, as well as some of the accomplishments or successes that you all are proud of?
It's definitely been I would say a tumultuous time for the last 3 years, right? So a lot of it was around how can we help our members. The fancy food shows have always been a major program that we offer to our members to connect with each other in the community, for the makers to connect with the buyers and all the other service providers, the brokers, the distributors. And so not having that in 2020 definitely was a challenge both for the association, but also to understand how do we then help our members to navigate through the last few years. That was one of the biggest challenges. Then the second one is to really understand how else can we assist our members, because so many members went through really tough times, whether it was not being able to sell to restaurants, or having labor issues, so on and so forth. And so I think it's wonderful how Bill and his team have been able to pivot to put on a lot of virtual programming in the last few years and webinars to help educate our members, whether it is around PPP or other government programs and grants, or navigating increased logistics expenses. And there are still many challenges that I think we're facing as an industry. As we know, in the last couple of years, inflation is going through the roof. But even before that, food prices all went up because the cost of ingredients and the cost of packaging all went up, right? And then you have supply chain disruptions, you have logistics issues. So these are all challenges that many of us have to navigate. And even last year and this coming year, I think that logistics is still a huge expense with fuel surcharges, so on and so forth. And so I think a lot of it in food industry, I think for all of us, is how do we continue to create products that are high quality, that are within the price points of what our consumers can afford, but still manage all of those increased costs.
Right. Yeah. That's so many great points that you hit there. And you would know, better than a lot of people because you're not only in a leadership position at SFA, you yourself are the owner of a product line. You're the creator of a product line. Tell us about Nona Live.
Absolutely. So we are a fresh Asian CPG brand. So we have products like bone broth that you can drink on the go in the car. We have noodles like ramen kits, stir fry starter kits to help families make dinner at home. And for us in the last few years, what's been really exciting is that Asian trends Asian food and ethnic cuisine became much trendier, and people really needed to cook at home a lot more, right, with the pandemic. And so we wanted to create products that allow you to make a pad thai noodle at home instead of buying from the restaurant if you wanted to. And so those are the products that we've launched in recent years.
That's wonderful. And I myself have tried some of your wonderful products. Love the bone broth. Love the packaging. Just pour it into the pot and then you warm it up. I mean, ready to eat. I love it. Yeah. So I want to know from you, since you're a product producer and you've been a part of SFA for a good while now. Let's try to take us into the shoes of an exhibitor. They're on the floor. They're working hard, right? They've spent, they put a good amount, financially, right, into being here, getting a spot here. It's not easy, and they have worked hard to make their booth look beautiful, to make their booth look attractive. What is going on, do you think, in the minds of the exhibitors? Is it all about just got to get the buyers attracted, or is it also I want to connect with people, I want to make connections, networking? What are some of the things that they're focusing on? What you think they should be focusing on as a vendor?
I think that there are a bunch of different things, right? The primary objective of most exhibitors, including myself, is certainly to connect with buyers. Right, you're trying to get that sale, trying to get more distribution. You're trying to meet that key retailer. So that's usually the primary objective, and that's how I think a lot of exhibitors judge whether a show is a success for them. Is the quality or the number of buyers that they meet. Having said that, certainly the community is a big part of it. Meeting a lot of other friends that you have not seen for 6 months or maybe a year, right? So that's definitely a huge objective as well, and then also checking out what's going on, what are the trends, what are they saying in the industry, just keeping themselves up to date on that. And then finally, there's sometimes market research. Sometimes you might be doing some new product launch, or you're working with some new products. You're using this opportunity to talk to other attendees to try and get a steer on whether that is the right product or what the flavor profile is. And also, for example, I was at the Japanese section, the shoyu island, which is awesome. They have lots of different artisanal shoyu, and they were testing a soy sauce with matcha and 3 different flavors, different matcha concentration, and they're letting us taste it and say what would we vote for, because they're trying to understand the American consumer and what the palate is like. Right, so that certainly could be a great objective. And then finally, another one is press. There's always a lot of media influencers, right, walking around
like
the
this
show.
live stream.
Exactly. So getting some sort of awareness as well is good as well. So I would say that many different objectives. I think the primary one usually tends to be getting buyers, but then don't just focus on that. There could be many other things that you can get from the show as well.
Right. One thing, we've done this live stream last year for the first time, and we noticed, as we were doing our rehearsing, setting up, seeing kind of the atmosphere, before the show as well as during and after the show, the sense of community amongst the exhibitors, amongst the members. It seems like the mentality, the headspace that SFA wants to promote is that community, right? Like, let's help each other. Let's, whatever you've been through, share with other people. Let's help each other out. Would you agree with that? And talk more about the importance of that.
Yeah, no, I think what has been really wonderful about the specialty food industry is that everyone's really collaborative, right? So it's just wonderful to help each other out. Sometimes have questions, talk to other brands and see what they're doing. And so I think that is a huge part of it. To enjoy that and to have that, and of course all the dinners afterwards, when you get to
right.
beyond, this being Vegas, I'm sure there's a lot, and so I think that's what makes it special, and I know that even a lot of the buyers, the retailers, the brokers, investors, etc., everybody wants to get back together because you have that human connection. Zoom is wonderful. I love Zoom and it's very efficient. But the human connection is still really key. I think it is what makes it much more special and much more us all connected.
Exactly. I love that you mentioned the parties and the dinners. As fun as they are so important to establish those connections. You can really be effectively doing that only face to face. So it must feel really good that, we're doing it in such a great city like Vegas, which is really built for huge conventions like this, right?
Yes.
To hold it logistically, but also to provide that space, right, for those connections to be fostered. I want to ask, you talked about Nona Lim, such a great line, personal fan of it. What can we expect? Is there anything we can expect this year in particular from Nona Lim? What should consumers be looking out for?
No, we're launching some new products in kind of April-May timeframe, right? So what we want to do, our whole kind of focus is still around how can we make Asian food much more accessible and convenient in all American households, but make it in a way that still tastes super authentic with clean ingredients. So besides, kind of the noodle stir-fry starter kits, we're actually moving into some other wonderful Southeast Asian dishes that you can just heat and serve to make it even more convenient.
Ready to eat.
So instead of, having to cook something from scratch, now you can just heat it, enjoy it, and, wonderful entrees coming out. I'll leave it at that. You have to talk to me another time. Exactly. You have to talk to me another time, and then we'll share more.
Okay, I think we need to get you on another Food Institute live stream. Maybe we can get a little bit more information. I don't know. All right. Well, Nona Lim, everyone, founder of Nona Lim, wonderful line of Asian food products, vice chair of the board of directors here at the Specialty Food Association. Nona, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right. Well, we are going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we will be with Julie Busha and Sarah Masoni, the leaders of the membership committee here at SFA. Don't go away. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the 2023 Winter Fancy Foods Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're still here in Las Vegas. We haven't gone anywhere. Right here at the Vegas Convention Center. I want to talk about members because that's the people who are here at the show. They're very important. They make up SFA. And there's no more important people that work for SFA than the directors of membership here at the Specialty Food Association, Julie Busha and Sarah Masoni. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, well, let's get it going. Tell us about membership at SFA. Who can be a member and how do you get to be a member?
Well, really, we have different levels of membership. So if you are just considering starting a food company, but you really don't know where to start and you need a lot of knowledge before you're really truly ready to launch, there is a lower tier membership level that you can join to gain all of the educational assets that the SFA affords you, to make sure that you're prepared. Because our focus as an association is making sure that all of our members, regardless of size, are ready to do business, whether they're just starting out, whether they're a little bit more veteran and they're seeking to maybe expand internationally. Every size business will always have its challenges ahead of them, and the SFA is here on the education front. So really, if you're just starting out thinking of a food item, I'd like to hand it over to Sarah Masoni because she's in charge of Oregon State with the incubators, and she can talk to you a little bit about that.
Yeah, I love it.
So we have an area pavilion at the show this year called New Now Next, and it's housing our incubator village area.
Yes. We just covered it earlier in Montana. It was awesome.
We have Startup Pavilion, and we have the Included, and we have a Diversity Pavilion. We're all grouped together on the same area on the floor, which is something that our membership committee recommended to the association. So that was really member driven. So we're really proud of that, and we hope everyone comes to the show and heads right over to that area.
Absolutely. I remember, I think the Diversity Pavilion, is it the first year? This is the first year?
No, we actually started last year.
Right, you started last year with the Included.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that, well done on that. What an accomplishment to be proud of. I just want to take a second. I apologize because my mic was muted. So I want to make sure that everyone knows who we're talking to because these are two wonderful people. The directors of the membership committee, Julie Busha and Sarah Masoni. Okay, we're going to get right back into it. So Sarah, tell me, what is it about these shows? The Winter Fancy Foods Show, the Summer Fancy Food Show. What is it about these shows that are so important to members?
I think what's most important is that the show is very welcoming. And when you join the association, you're really joining a team of people that love food. And there's nothing better than hanging out at a show where everyone's focused on high quality artisan crafted foods. And we all have the same goal of getting those into consumers' hands. We're really focusing on having high quality buyers come to our shows and connect with our sellers, our makers, our people that are struggling and succeeding and loving and, keeping their food products ready for sale. And they're here and ready to connect and give food samples and just have a great time at the Fancy Food Show.
I love that.
I think we even have a fantastic array of diverse buyers. It's not just the mainstream grocery channel and some of the gourmet trade. I actually heard from a member yesterday that there is a very big popular clothing store that has picked them up, and they're sitting right at the register now. So we do have a very diverse sector of buyers here. And I think that's the exciting thing about being at the show is as an exhibitor. And both Sarah and I are on the exhibit floor. We're seeing buyers come through that, you don't necessarily associate with food or with gourmet food at all. And so I think the SFA does a great job of really bringing in diverse buyers, and it gives everyone an opportunity to really sell beyond just the grocery channels.
We actually have folks from QVC, TJ Maxx, some places that you really wouldn't think of as a startup or as a small company that you'd be able to supply. But it's really great to meet with those buyers and get our products out in different ways. Just like Julie said, not just on the shelf. They're going out in lots of other ways as well.
I love that. Thank you, ladies, for mentioning that. That is so important to note. It's not just about what you would think right off the top, who the buyers are, just from supermarkets, the clothing store. I love that. You do see food products at different types of stores, not just food stores. I love that. So, Sarah, tell me, at the show, you get a wide range of exhibitors. You get the vets, right? The experienced, successful vendors, exhibitors, and you also have maybe like the rookies, like the first time, members here at the show. They're happy to be here. What does SFA do to really accommodate the needs, the different needs of the different types of members who are, exhibiting here at the show?
So we have great assets, like Julie said, about training and education. And on Saturdays, there's a whole day of learning that's available for first-time members. Maybe they want to come and spend that day and learn some key buyer tips or basic, things that they need. Actually, that's right. It's called the basics. And that's a great thing to do when you're first starting out. And it's also not bad for someone who's been in the business for a while to just refresh, learn what's new, learn about trends, find out what some of the new things that people are doing to sell their food products, and use the online programming. I think Julie was going to talk a little bit more about that, so I'll pass it back to her.
Sure.
Yeah, the SFA, it almost amazes me, how much you get for your membership. Because membership is just a few $100s a year for, the bulk of us. And every week you're getting multiple webinars on various topics, and they're completely free. We have tons of white papers. We have tons of contact lists. The amount of information that a member has access to that will help grow their business astounds me. And sometimes a weekly webinar will come up, a topic that I'm thinking, well, it doesn't really pertain to me. Maybe I won't tune in. But then because I'm a member, I have the benefit of listening to it after the fact. I will learn something from that webinar, and that will ultimately benefit my business. And whether you've been in the business 10 years, 20 years, or just 1 year, you are constantly learning. And the SFA does such a wonderful job of providing that to members. And other shows, other organizations, they just don't do that. And the SFA, that's like, it is such a big win for us. You get so much bang for your buck. And then not to mention our booth spaces here at the Fancy Food Show are considerably less than competition. So, I couldn't be more proud to be members, and the members I feel like are very supportive of other members. And, it's just a great community.
That's awesome. I love what you mentioned about the no matter how experienced you are, you're always learning. Yeah, Sarah, do you have something else?
Yes, I wanted to just mention for folks out there that like data, this year I believe is the highest new member acquisition for the association. If I'm not mistaken, I know it's over 700 new members. And that's amazing.
Wow. 700 new
I think
members.
even more. I don't want to I know it's more than 700. Do you remember the number, Julie?
I don't remember the exact
It was a big number. It might have even been 960.
Yeah.
I think it might have been something like that. Some crazy
Close to
number.
1,000.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But not totally surprising because, you guys are just so great at, really accommodating the needs, right?
Yes.
You really make an effort to be empathetic to understand the needs, the challenges of the product producer, right? That's what it's all about.
I was over in the Japan area. We have a huge international group of members, and there's a whole group of folks from an island in Japan that just make soy sauce.
Oh, wow.
If you haven't been over there, go and try the soy sauces. I didn't even know that there was soy sauce that wasn't brown. And now I'm thinking am I getting the worst soy sauce because it's brown? Am I getting the low grade soy sauce? So I had a great time. I went around and tried a whole bunch of unique products I've never experienced, and it was great fun. So I recommend checking all the international pavilions. Go try foods you've never tried before and buy them.
Right, exactly. There's a lot to share.
Well, I will say that the SFA does a great job of listening to the members.
Yes.
We as members have a voice in how the association is run, how to improve the shows, what our needs are,
Right.
both from an educational standpoint, from a business standpoint, and we as members can volunteer, and Sarah and I are two volunteers. Yes. And we serve on the board, and we're very fortunate to do so. But it's great that the SFA takes recommendations and just comments from all of our members to evolve and grow the association. And that's why it's so fantastic right now.
I love that.
So if you want to join, you're a little nervous, you can start in the incubator village, find an incubator in your area and see if they're members of SFA. Then we have the startup pavilion, so you can move into that. And then there's state pavilions and regional pavilions that are managed by the U.S. trade associations. So there's lots of different ways to get into the show.
There's no excuse. Lots of different ways. All right. Well, Julie Boucher and Sarah Masoni, Directors of Membership at Specialty Food Association. Thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you for having us.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye
It's
for
been a
now.
bigger pleasure for me. All right. Well, we are going to, you can put it right there. Thank you so much. We're going to turn it over now to our very own Jordan Wiklund, veteran reporter on the floor of the Chocolate Pavilion, probably, arguably the most popular pavilion perhaps at the show, according to multiple attendees and maybe some vendors. I really wish I could fit some of those products through the internet wire so that we could have our viewers taste some of what are the delectable surprises, chocolatey treats over there at the pavilion. All right, Jordan, it's on you. What are you seeing? What are you tasting?
Hello, Susan. How sweet it is to be at the Chocolate Pavilion inside the confectionery section here at the Specialty Food Association Winter 2023 Fancy Food Show. I am with Mr. Nathan May of Sweet Shop USA Candies. They are out of Mount Pleasant, Texas. They say everything's bigger in Texas. Does that apply to chocolate?
Oh, it most definitely does. Oh, it most definitely does.
Excellent, excellent. Well, you guys have an impressive display. Well, you know, what's new? What's good? What excites you about the association and the food show this year?
Yeah, so we have a whole new lineup for 2023 with about a dozen new products. So we're really, really excited about that. New technology, new manufacturing capabilities. Things are really exciting for this year, and I couldn't be more happy to be here.
Well, I'm a milk chocolate man, but it looks like we have quite an assortment here. Do you have any new products you guys are happy to, well, you know, give the sampling media team, or you just want to talk about? I mean, what is the market telling you that's going on in chocolate this year?
Yeah, so we don't have any new products with us. Actually, we do. We have two right over here. But our new truffles, which are our biggest seller, we're actually the largest handmade truffle manufacturer in the United States. Oh, yeah, so that's always exciting. But we have two new truffles that we're really excited about, a pecan cream pie truffle and a strawberry shortcake truffle. And they're so new, in fact, that we don't have them here. They're in the production lines as we speak. So those are hot off the press.
Yeah. Or at least the chocolate conveyor belt. So you're located in Texas. Do you distribute all over the United States or, you know, out of the country?
So we distribute to all 50 states, including Puerto Rico. We do some business in Canada. But with chocolate, obviously, shipping international can sometimes be a little bit difficult. But we do ship to all 50 states. And we have customers that are very happy with our products in all 50 states.
Yeah, it's hard not to be happy with chocolate. As Susan mentioned earlier, you know, there's a diversity booth over here. The flavors of the world and the accents are all around us. And from the youngest age, unless you're allergic to chocolate, it's probably one of the most positive and first flavor memories one has. I mean, what was your go-to when you were little?
Oh, I was a classic milk chocolate child. Anything that was sweet could bring a smile to my face. But you know what's great about chocolate is that from the youngest of ages to the oldest, it all brings us back to a spot that we remember as children. Chocolate just has a special power to do that, right? And so it's a wonderful time to work in chocolate all the time.
Yeah, no, it sure is. I have to come up with a good Willy Wonka quote. I meant to do that for the broadcast, but of course it escapes me now. Well, Nathan, thank you so much. It's been a great pleasure speaking with you. The chocolate looks phenomenal. If you had to eat anything out of this booth right now, could you point it out, and what would it be?
Right here, our #1 bestseller, dark chocolate sea salt caramel. It is wonderful. And if you want a sample, I'll get you one later.
Oh, we'll be back. Well, thank you so much. That was Nathan May with Sweet Shop USA. We are going to keep moving on. Nathan, thank you for your time.
Hey, y'all have a good one.
All right. Well, the chocolate is flowing all around the Specialty Food Association. We are going to head back and show you a little bit more of what the world of chocolate has to offer straight out of Las Vegas this January. Try not to run into anybody. Here we are. And the man of the hour looks like he's ready. I am with Mr. Andy Schulman, CEO, I believe, of Hammond's Candies out of Denver, Colorado. Andy, what's it like?
In Denver or
just in general?
Oh, everything's great. Yeah, can't complain. Can't complain.
Well, what's new? What's good? What's Hammond, working on for this year?
We've got a couple new candy bars. We've got our Candy King Crunch Bar, our Raspberry Habanero. We've got our cookie bars, which are fantastic. It's a nice little sugar cookie with chocolate and a cream filled in the middle. So some people call it s'mores, but we like to call it our cookie bar. And yeah, just really, really good. Chocolate is still, and especially for us, our bars are just continue to grow every year. So we can't complain about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I was thrilled to see a familiar brand. I'm relatively new to food service, but I'm very familiar with your milk chocolate offerings. I'm a sucker for the final end cap, at Hy-Vee, at checkout, at grocery stores. If it's not Snickers, it's probably a Hammond's, which is just a blast. So how did you, get into the candy business?
Well, it's been 15 years since I've done it. And, Hammond's was primarily all we did was hard candy, and all we did was that for Christmas. And so we really didn't necessarily have much that we were selling every day. And so I was just like, we got to come out with a candy bar line, and we did. And so this thing has just grown and grown and grown every year. And I think we have 24 flavors now.
That sounds delicious. And it's funny because, year to year, you don't really know how much trends and how fast trends move in food. People say tech moves fast, food might move even faster because everybody needs to eat. So what do what do you see coming? Or is there anything maybe you guys are working on in the research and development department that we might see next year?
Yeah, I think for us, it's all about branding. It's all about the bar. Obviously, the bar has to taste good, but we've got some flavors that have been around for 10 years that are just not going to go anywhere because they continually are the top ones. They're unique in their novelty. So we have a pigs and taters bar that is like bacon bits and potato chips. We have a chicken and waffles bar, cookies and cream. We just came out with a lemon meringue that's a white chocolate with like a lemony filling. So some really unique things that do well. Kind of our next thing in chocolate is going to be what it's going to combine with like our other fast growing segment, which is marshmallow. And so we'll have a lot of things that are enrobed and, as we come down the line.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. I don't think many people understand just what a medium chocolate can be for other more dynamic, or not more dynamic, but different flavors. It can be a vessel to sort of bring you to sea salt coasts of Hawaii, or the chili coasts of Argentina and Peru. I saw some chili fleck chocolate somewhere around here. I'm gonna have to get my hands on.
Nice, yeah. No, chocolate does pair with a lot of different things. We have a certain kind of hard candies and definitely some nut candies that do really well with chocolate. But I think this chocolate enrobed with some of our marshmallow flavors is going to be a big winner down the line.
I'm waiting for Hammond's to release its chocolate infused wine collection. Can't wait for that to come down.
Well, that's actually a good idea. Maybe we'll try that out in a bar.
Well, that sounds great, Andy. Thank you so much. What else are you looking forward to here at the Specialty Food Association?
I think it's just nice to be at the show again. Especially this winter show, which has basically been kind of closed down for 21, and now we're actually 2 years. It was open last year, but it was a much smaller show. And you see people that you haven't seen in 2 years, so I think we're hopefully beyond the issues of COVID, and we'll start growing the business.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. I mean, if anything can bring people together, I think it's probably going to be chocolate.
Definitely.
Andy, thanks so much. We'll see you again. We're going to keep moving on and within the confection pavilion. Excuse me. Woo! That's why we look behind us as we walk. Everywhere you look, in every direction, the aisles are filled with chocolatiers, confectioneers. We're hearing accents from everywhere where we're close to the international section. Italian, Spanish, French, it goes on and on and on. You know, if you can eat it, it's here. I had some mango shrimp earlier. Wasn't coated in chocolate, but, you know, anything is possible. Well, I'm from Minnesota, and way up north where the cold wind blows, we got chocolate too, don't you know?
Hi, I'm Madonna Schmitz. I'm with Abdallah Candies, and we are a fifth-generation family-owned company. Been in Minnesota since 1909, so I'm sure you've sampled some at some point.
I'm sure I have too. It was a great pleasure to learn that Abdallah's headquarters is within miles of where I live, south of the airport in Apple Valley. So we have a lot to talk about, but not too much time.
Time at the Winter Fancy Food. We always do New York, so we thought it would be fun to come west, and so we're excited to see what all's going to happen.
As are we. What do you see that's new and hot and good in chocolate? What excites Abdallah these days?
To be very honest with you, what we find is just the traditional. We're a very traditional company because we're old. So although some people are experimenting with other things, we're traditional creams, caramels, nuts, chews. We like to do the stuff that's, you know, been around for all those years. So come Valentine's, you're going to get all the candies that you really like. So we don't usually dabble in anything too crazy. I know moving forward, we may look into some things with more fruits in them. So that might be something that is coming down the line, but we're traditional candies, caramels, and chocolates.
That sounds wonderful. If I were to pair, one more question. If I were to pair one of your chocolates with a hot dish, say, what would you recommend?
With a hot dish, no, yeah, so that's a Minnesota thing. And I would guess anything caramel. So just a plain vanilla caramel does a great job paired with your hot dish, and tater tot hot dish for that. So
Absolutely. Madonna, thank you for your time. You are local. We will be in touch. I appreciate it. All right, we're going to swing by one more booth real fast. We are going to head to the Scharfenberger Chocolate Company out of Ashland, Oregon. There he is, Mr. J.P. Mackey. Tell us a little bit about Scharfenberger.
Oh, Scharfenberger is America's original craft chocolate company. We have recently taken ownership back from Hershey, and we're an independent craft chocolate company now, and are relaunching ourselves here at the show. So this is our coming out party, showing new branding, new product lines, and extensions on what we've done over time, and some new product lines like our chocolate provisions here. So
Excellent, excellent. We are near the end of our segment, so I don't mean to rush you. You're debuting, you're relaunching, you're free from Hershey. What is your number one product? If we were to look at anything.
our number one product for this week, and we're excited to be here at the SFA show, is the chocolate provisions. This is something where we couldn't be more proud of. There's legacy lines here in our baking line and our chocolate bars as well. But this chocolate provisions line is dedicated to go with fine wines, compliments to fine cheeses, wines, and bourbons, craft beers. And so we think it's something new, something exciting. And though it might not be our number one line today, we think it will be going forward. So
that sounds wonderful. Well, tomorrow we're going to be focusing on the beverage pavilion. So you stuff your pockets with chocolate, and I'll get us the bourbon.
It's a deal. I'm there.
All right, thanks, JP. We're going to head back to Susan now at the Food Institute stage. Thanks for joining me in the Chocolate Pavilion.
I'm going to unmute myself now. You can hear me. Thank you, Jordan Wiklund, for that very informative look at the Chocolate Pavilion here at the SFA Winter Fancy Foods Show 2023, the 47th annual. I am so excited to be here with you. We've got more great content. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, I've got two very important, special, lovely ladies that you will definitely want to hear from. Don't miss it. We'll be right back. All right, we are back, and here with me, as promised, are two very important ladies, VIPs here at SFA on the show floor. Everyone wants to know them. Everyone wants to talk to them. They are key buyers here from Whole Foods of the Culinary Procurement team. I have the lovely Kari McGuinness and the wonderful Dana Stanley here with me. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so tell me, what is the Culinary Procurement team? What is it? How is it a part of Whole Foods? How long have you guys been at Whole Foods? Tell me all about yourselves.
Sure. So the Culinary Procurement team handles everything from your strategy to the product mix to distribution, logistics, education, which is key, how products land in our stores, really connecting to the store levels as well. And so that's part of what Dana and I do. It's not just the products, but also how do we connect it to that end customer and team member of the stores. I've been with Whole Foods for 23 years, my second job out of college. So absolutely one of those accidental careers that has just been a blessing and just been the most amazing. And I am from Colorado. So another really wonderful thing is that I get to work with people from all over the country as well, and friends that I've been friends with for years. And I'll pass it to Dana to talk a little bit about herself.
Hi, so I've been with Whole Foods for 15 years. I left the restaurant world as a chef to follow my passion into the cheese and wine industry and just fell in love with Whole Foods. It was exactly what I needed at the time. And like Kari mentioned, have made lifelong friends and have had amazing mentors. I think that some of the key goals of the Culinary Procurement team, like Kari mentioned, is that we're really looking to bring the best of the food industry to our customers in the stores. Always looking for restaurant quality, those key ingredients that will make a perfect dish or a perfect meal. The Culinary Procurement team is our specialty program, which is adult beverage, so beer and wine and spirits, as well as specialty cheese. And then our bakery and prepared foods areas. So we're really touching a broad portion of the store, and it's all about food, all about the good things, all about the things that you love and that you want to eat every day.
Excellent. I love it. What a wonderful summary of what you guys do. Really important role for Whole Foods.
Super fun job.
Oh my gosh. My goodness. I can't even
eat
imagine.
a lot.
That's the job, to enjoy the food. I love it. I love it. So let me ask you this. What I think is a really important question. I mean, let's face it, you guys are really important people here. People want to get to know you. Exhibitors want to get to know you. As a key buyer, what are some things that exhibitors, should know? I mean, or actually, what's the selection process for you guys? When you guys are walking the show floor, you're seeing the booth. What's going on in your guys' minds? What are some key things that you're looking out for when it comes to having that eye on okay, what are we seeing here? What do we think we're interested in?
Well, I think the thing that first stands out to us when we start walking shows like this and engaging with suppliers, particularly those that are new to us, is the core values and quality standards for Whole Foods, right? So first and foremost, they must meet those quality standards. But we're also looking for trends. So we're constantly reading and living and eating and experiencing trends. So we're really looking at that, but we're keeping in mind our customer base too, which has been a very ebb and flow process over the last couple of years. So we're looking at things that our customers really want to buy, that they're going to get the most for their dollar when they buy, particularly right now. We're also looking for sustainability and a story. One of the beautiful things about what we do and the connection with Whole Foods is the story from the farmer to the grain producer, all the way to the product journey landing in our stores. Super important to us. Our customers want a purchase with a purpose. They want to know where things are coming from, the transparency. So as we're going into these shows, we identify categories, of course, that we're looking for, categories that we have currently that we want to grow and educate. So I'll let Dana speak some to the educational piece, but really connecting with our team members. We've had a lot of turnover the last couple of years just due to the nature of what's going on. But so we're looking at stories, connectivity, quality standards, and what have our customers been telling us that they're buying, right, as well too.
in addition to all of those things, our senses really guide us through these shows. What smells good, what looks beautiful, like what pulls us in. Is there something that we walk by where it's like, whoa, stop, let's put that in our mouths? The flavors that we're looking for, we want to be excited. You know, I think that customers come to us because they're looking for fresh, they're looking for new, they're looking for very specific diets. We also do a lot of work in that space and are always looking for what do people want to eat from a dietary perspective. Some of the trends that we're seeing and things that we buy for are, plant-based living and also animal-based diets, and that full picture of nose to tail butchery and like food utilization. That's really important to us, especially in the categories that Kari and I work with. We're looking for animal compassion and welfare, and we're looking for things to just be untouched and in their most pure form. So anytime we see something that has whole ingredients, whole foods, untouched, unprocessed, that's really appealing to us because we want to deliver the cleanest, most nutritious foods to our customers.
I love that. I love what you mentioned, nose to tail.
Yep.
Very, very sustainable, right? I also love what you mentioned, clean, whole. Can you give me some other specific examples of what you're looking out for, if not specific products, then other types of trends and categories that meet that target those needs that you're looking for?
Of course, snacking is always dominating.
Right,
the snacking category is always dominating. We're big snackers ourselves. We have families, so it's a snacking category, but that's also a category where you see a lot of unhealthy things, and so going back to those quality standards. Also what Dana was talking about, whole milk, raw milk, big trends, spices. People are being very price conscious right now. So we want to make sure we're also providing products that when they buy it, they feel like they're getting a lot of flavor that really keeps going for them as well. And I'll let you talk a little bit too.
I think some of the favorite flavor profiles we're seeing is that kind of switch from sweet and salty to sweet and spicy, and really kicking up that flavor and that energy. When it comes to things like whole milk and raw milk and full fat and grass fed, those are things that are really appealing that we're looking for as well. Things that just add an extra level of nutrition. Something that we're seeing too are adaptogens and functional beverages. People are looking to be healthy while they snack and add something extra. So those supplements of those adaptogenic herbs or those probiotics, that's something that a lot of folks are looking for. And you find a lot of those things in foods that are in their most natural state, as well as delicious whole beverages that you can add another supplement to. So anything that we can find that meets a customer's needs in multiple categories, we want to deliver that to them.
And really also keeping it simple. People don't want complicated. And so not everything has to be in the form of a smoothie, although smoothies are amazing. But to what Dana's point was, educating them about the high quality and nutritional and healthy benefits of what's in that food, and keeping it very simple and very whole food, just clean eating.
That really aligns with what I've been seeing, in covering the food industry. Consumers, they want to know. They want to know what they're eating, right? This is not the generation of, no labels and, or CEOs being unknown, of big corporations. People want more transparency, right? That is a sign of the times. So I think what you're mentioning, it's right in line with what we're seeing out there in the food industry. Last question: what do you think are some key things that exhibitors are needing to know when trying to attract, people in your position, when trying to establish good relationships with buyers?
Sure. We want transparency too. We want to know upfront what is your business model and your business goals as well. We also want simple in some ways too. We don't want a lot of noise around it. Tell us the story, tell us the mission. We want to hear the story, the people behind the products, the inspiration behind the products as well. And when it comes to sustainability with us as well, just keep it to the point, and let's develop a partnership, and let's talk about that and how this is going to translate to our team members and to our customers, and maintain that relationship. We don't want a lot of extra sales pitch. If no is no, that's accept that, but let's also talk about then what else you have to offer as well too. And I think the things that turn us off sometimes is just that over sales pitch, or they see us come to the booth and they see Whole Foods and they think they need to be something they're not. We want to see who you really are. Authenticity, sustainability, and the story is really key. And then, of course, I mean, to be honest right now too, supply and cost are a big deal. So we appreciate the conversations about being open to maybe different types of packaging or different sizes or case packs, right? Different size case packs to land into the stores, distribution channels that work great on both sides. Because at the end of the day, the team members and the customers aren't buying the product, then the product won't live, no matter how passionate we feel about it. Our job is to select it, educate, get it out there, land it well, and monitor the beauty of that life cycle of that product and work in partnership with that. So, and I think the other misconception is they think, well, we're a bigger company, so there's such a small company in a bigger company, we care. And so they try to maybe think it doesn't matter as much, or they get intimidated by that. We're humans that love food, that have a responsibility to deliver that as well.
Yeah, I love that.
I would say the only thing that I would have to add is that it's very clear. Most people know that one of our core values are those win-win partnerships with our producers and suppliers, and the transparency is needed, but so is the feedback. You know, we want a really strong feedback loop, and we want to be able to say, this is exactly what we're looking for. This is what we need. Because it is a partnership. We're giving you business and you're giving us a product, and that's very secular. So if something isn't working, we want to be able to have a really transparent, upfront conversation so that we can get to the root of what we need to do to make lasting change and improve the partnership. So it takes a bit of open hearts and open minds on both sides to really get to that place. And we're a family of merchants and procurers and food lovers, and we want to be in relationship and in a family type relationship with all of our producers and suppliers.
Absolutely. Always a collaboration, always a relationship. I love that. Thank you so much, Kari McGuinness and Dana Stanley of the Culinary Procurement team here at Whole Foods, key buyers. A lot of great points you guys gave us. So informational for our viewers, for our audience. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right. Well, we're going to take it over right now to a very special piece that we have for you. Our very own Brittany Borer spoke to the Director of Education and Programs here at SFA to talk about all the wonderful member benefits regarding education webinars. There's so many things to learn about in the specialty food industry, whether you're a new member or whether you're a veteran of the food industry. The business is always evolving, always changing, and SFA works hard to bring you the benefits, the education that you need to know. So check it out. I hope you enjoy it.
Hi, I'm Brittany Borer here with Gretchen Van Esselston, the Director of Education and Program Development with SFA. Gretchen, thank you so much for joining me today.
It's my pleasure, Brittany.
Now, there are a lot of new and exciting offerings at the Winter Fancy Food Show this year. So could you tell me about the Big Idea Stage? What can people expect?
Absolutely. Well, we are so excited for the show. So the Big Idea Stage is Big Idea is small stage. So it's a small stage on the show floor as part of the SFA Hub. And it's an opportunity for attendees to come by and learn a lot about specialty food. We have partners like the Fermentation Association, the American Cheese Society, the Contract Packaging Association, basically groups that really focus in on topics in our industry. And they're going to be doing short sessions, panels, and talks on those topics. We're also going to have folks from the EU and from Italy who will be talking about some of those international products. So it's very exciting, and it's just a stop on by kind of stage. So we're going to have a lot of fun there, a lot of activity.
Well, that sounds super exciting. I'll have to be sure to check that one out. And now I heard about Taste It Live. What can we look forward to seeing there? Give us the inside scoop.
Absolutely. So yeah, taste is the word right there. So it is a opportunity for demos. So it's a live cooking demo station. They're going to be chefs from Italy, from other EU countries, and we're also going to have a fantastic chocolate demo on Monday morning from our partners at the Fine Chocolate Industry Association. So that is going to be really fun. So really, it's a place to stop by, take a seat for a few minutes, taste something delicious, learn more about specialty food.
Say no more, you had me at chocolate. So what other interesting courses are going to be offered at the Winter Fancy Food Show 2023?
We really have a packed agenda. I'm very excited about this particular show. We have so much going on. So Sunday morning, we're going to kick off before the show even begins with a session on, we asked our members what are the real pain points that they're experiencing these days. And they told us supply chain, labor, logistics, and shipping. And so we said, what can we do? So we looked for some experts who could really help us dig into those topics. So we're going to have a panel called Solving for Success first thing in the morning on Sunday before the show floor even opens. That's part of our Maker Prep program, where really we're going to do some problem solving. So I'm very excited about that. And then we have our big marquee panel, which will be at noon on Sunday, which will be called The New Rules of Specialty Food. These last few years have changed everything in the game, and this is going to be where Jack Acree of Saffron Road will be anchoring the panel. We're going to have retailers, finance folks, people from across the industry, again, digging into what's going on in the industry. Very cool. Moving on to Monday, I wanted to talk about our keynote with Paco Underhill, who is an unbelievable expert on consumer behavior, the science of shopping. So that'll be kicking off on Monday morning. Monday night, we have our leadership awards where we celebrate leaders in our industry. Lots of sessions during the day also talking about shopper marketing. We have a great brand studio workshop. We wrap it all up on Tuesday where we release our consumer research. Plenty of programs that I didn't mention, but you get the idea. It's really about what are the problems in the industry? How can we solve them? How can we dig deeper into research and trends and really bring our members and the whole SFA community, get everyone informed and really ready to do business in 2023 and beyond.
Wow, that sounds like there's so much to unpack there. There's plenty for people to do, and more importantly, lots for them to learn as well. So what role do you think these courses play in educating maybe perhaps new or developing businesses as they're attending the show today?
Absolutely. So, a huge part of what we do is reaching out. We use our industry work groups. We have our ears in the industry and just trying to figure out what are the big things coming up that newbies need to learn about, and also trying to educate people who are already in the business and need to learn things more about. We just had a big traceability ruling going on with food safety. There's so much to learn. So we do our best to find out what's going on out there, find the right experts and match everybody up. So I would say preparedness for the next step, regardless of who you are in our industry. That's really the hallmark of what we do.
And I'm sure a lot of people are going to be excited and just, appreciate these courses as they walk into them and as they're exploring the show. So final question, I hear that you have a new course that's on its way, not just yet, but it's coming in early 2023. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So, one of the key parts of our program has always been our basics course, which takes place every fancy food show all day on Saturday, the day before the show. And that's really like a 101, almost like a pre-101, where folks dig into the very, very basic elements of our industry. So the program that we'll be coming out with in March it's called Maker Prep. It's an interactive online course, and it's the next step from the basics. So folks will be able to, on their own time, take 12 modules of preparedness in 3 phases, everything from product development and food safety on up to selling and marketing your product. And again, it is interactive. There are also forum elements where you can meet your fellow students and talk about issues and problems. do a little homework, some quizzing, and really come out with it absolutely ready to succeed in your business. So look for that, our Maker Prep course debuting in March 2023.
Well, Gretchen, thank you so much for educating me and the rest of our viewers on all of that wonderful information where they could find these courses here at the show. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see you at the show.
All right, Gretchen Van Nesselston, Director of Education and Programs at SFA, and Brittany Bohr, our very own veteran reporter and producer from the Food Institute. Thank you so much, you guys, for that really informative conversation. We want to turn right now to a really special treat. Our platinum sponsor, Rosenthal and Rosenthal, the country's largest privately held factor and finance company, a third-generation family business. And I'm so happy to have with us a wonderful representative with us here of Rosenthal and Rosenthal, Ying Yang. Thank you so much, Ying, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, so tell me, what your position is at Rosenthal and what Rosenthal and Rosenthal does.
Sure. So I am in charge of business development for Rosenthal Rosenthal across multiple divisions and product offerings. I've been in the industry for 20 years, and it's very exciting to work for a company that is independently owned. So we are a commercial finance company, and we service a lot of companies across multiple industries to help them with securing working capital, growth capital, turnaround, and other much needed solutions that, especially in this very challenging time.
Very challenging time. I mean, your services are more needed than ever, as our viewers know. We've been through some tough times as a country, so I'm so glad that there's a company like Rosenthal and Rosenthal that's here to help people. Tell me, what does the firm specialize in particular?
So our specialty and what we are known for is the flexibility in terms of the wide range of product line. We have domestic and international factoring. I'm not sure how familiar the audience is with factoring, but it essentially is a working capital offering coupled with credit protection and AR and collection management. So it's really all encompassing in many ways. We also provide purchase order financing and trade financing, which is very exciting, especially for the food industry.
Very
much needed with the supply chain issues that we are all dealing with.
People can get really overwhelmed with the purchase orders.
Right. For companies that are bootstrapped, HEAL financing is a great solution. We can talk a little bit more about that later. Asset-based lending is also another product line we have, including inventory financing dedicated to very fast-growing D2C companies, which is a very exciting added division to our business.
I love how comprehensive an explanation you just gave about all the things, all the helpful things that Rosenthal and Rosenthal does for their clients. But I'm sure our viewers want to hear who's behind Rosenthal and Rosenthal.
I know,
What's the backstory with this? And why Rosenthal and Rosenthal? We only need to know one name, right? Rosenthal? Tell us about the history of the company.
So when I joined the business, that was my question. And I absolutely love the history that I learned from the family that started the business.
I think we have a picture, Brittany, if hopefully we can put that up. But I love that aspect. It's a family-owned business, right, Ying?
At its core, it still remains a family business.
Wonderful.
So Rosenthal started the business back in 1938. He was funded by his father, who in his own right is a very successful owner of a business company.
Yes.
So he got his line of credit, a seed capital
Started on a loan
from his father. And as a tribute to that, hence the name Rosenthal and Rosenthal. And what I also love is the root of the company. The very, very first client that we ever signed was a chicken farmer.
Oh, my goodness.
There is that groundedness to it.
Grassroots.
Grassroots for sure. The integral value that Omri set up for the business is really trying to support companies, business owners who just cannot find bank financing or more traditional line of credit. He wanted to help the business owners grow. He really truly believed and became personally involved in managing the relationships, and that approach to financing still resonates with us today and really is the foundation for a company that is now the largest independent factor, but again, run in a way that is, I think, very common to see in this space where it's family generational type of environment. Today, we are third generation run by the grandsons of Henri Rosenthal, and the value still is something that I am impressed with, and the reason why I joined the firm many years ago.
As am I. I mean, people want relatability, right? They love family, like they love intimate stories. And that's why I think Rosenthal is just such a wonderful company. I'm so glad that you guys are here today and that you guys are sponsoring us. We appreciate the support. We want to get into the insights on the food industry. We're at the Specialty Food Association Fancy Foods Show. We've touched on this before. Rosenthal and Rosenthal, great supporters of the food industry. You have clients in the food industry. You know the challenges this country has been facing when it comes to commercial industries, supply chain issues, labor issues. You've touched upon that. What are Rosenthal's thoughts professionally on how the food industry is being impacted today?
Yeah, I mean, look, the business owners know more than I do. They live it every day. The challenges you have listed, what's interesting is they're all happening at the same time, which is so unique. Any one of the challenges would have kept people up at night. And when you're faced with this whack-a-mole situation,
all at once,
you really need to learn how to allocate your resources to kind of withstand the uncertainties that we still face. I think that the logistic challenges, the port delays, the cost increases, which is a huge issue in the food industry, labor shortages, these are all going to be an ongoing scenario for not just the food business, but also across consumer and multiple other industries altogether. So what we see is for business that have been doing the right thing, meaning making timely decisions to either increase costs or really become more efficient, become leaner, do more with less, and really also diversify, create backup support for supply chain, so that when things happen, you have your plan B in place. That needs to continue to be a focus because we do see the challenges going through 2023, at least for the first half of the year. We always talk about the looming recession, whether it's here already, how hard is it landing, how soft is it landing. No matter what, I think the challenges will stay, and the diligent business owners who have not only the right balance sheet to support the operation or the right lending partner will be more successful in weathering the storm.
Right. I think that's really solid advice. I love what you mentioned. Got to have that plan B. Got to have that backup plan. You got to have that, that net, right? You got to be prepared.
Right.
Girl Scout motto, be prepared. Or it's a Boy Scout motto.
Do your
Not
homework,
sure.
be
Yeah,
prepared.
do your homework, be prepared. I'm sure Rosenthal does its homework on a consistent basis.
Absolutely.
What assets do you offer to help businesses through those types of challenges?
Sure. I mean, I kind of briefly mentioned about factoring, which is one of our larger divisions.
Right.
It really is a meaningful product at this time. I talked a little bit about labor shortages and also trying to find the right people to maintain your staff and maintain your back office. And that can be especially challenging today. So for business owners who want to actually allocate their time to focus on doing their business, doing what they're good at, product innovation, sales and marketing, we are here to provide liquidity enhancement. So factoring is that liquidity enhancement product that's extremely flexible.
Yes.
It can be supporting companies doing sales both domestically or internationally, coupled with credit protection that really supports the administrative aspect of the business. That's not super fun, but it's absolutely necessary to keep the collection cycle going and help the cash flow of the business. That is a very comprehensive product. I would say that purchase order financing or trade financing is also very meaningful too, to help companies finance the cost of inventory. And what people may not realize is with PO financing, you can potentially get up to 100% of the cost of inventory. And that is huge. When you're looking for funding to really help you complete that big order you landed, having that in your back pocket and not having to get up equity, I think at this time is especially helpful.
Right, right. I love what you just mentioned there. That sounds like it's going to be super helpful for present and future clients.
Absolutely.
So, on that same line, again, a longstanding company, Rosenthal and Rosenthal, helping a multitude of businesses over the decades. Can you share with us an example, a case study, if you will, of a business that you helped that really illustrates, the type of help that Rosenthal and Rosenthal can provide?
Sure. And there are many stories, but I think one that may be meaningful is a food company. They're importers. They came to us about 4 years ago when they ran into issue with their bank. They were faced with a very restrictive covenant, which really caused problem from the onset when you're positioned for growth. So what Rosenthal was able to do is provide an asset-based facility that is very covenant light. And when we started the relationship was 2019. So if you look onward, COVID happened in 2020. The past 3 years, we were able to step up our facility size every time there was a need, because the company, like many others I see here, are growing.
Yes.
They're growing. They need to build inventory. They're expanding their product categories. They're expanding their customer base. But unfortunately, you're also faced with port congestion, supply chain delays. So you need to build up inventory level and maintain that inventory for a much longer period of time. That really causes strain on the company's capital. And every time they gave us a call, we were able to step up and make it work. So very happy to know that they are still a client, and they went from 20 million in revenue to over 50 million. And our facility went from 2.5 million to 9 million.
Wow.
Our goal is to
More than
make it as
triple.
easy as possible for them to not worry about capital, so they can continue to innovate and continue to push the boundaries of what this food industry can do.
Overcoming obstacles, overcoming challenges. You help clients through that, and you do a lot more. Thank you so much, Yang Yang of Rosenthal and Rosenthal. Really appreciate the time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Have fun.
Yes. All right. Well, big thanks again to Rosenthal and Rosenthal as our platinum sponsor. You can find out more about them at www.rosenthalinc.com. And that is it. That is the end of day one live stream coverage of the 47th annual SFA Winter Fancy Foods Show right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm Susan Choi. I hope to see you tomorrow for day two. More exciting coverage, more exciting pavilions, more great brands to cover, more topics to cover. Please join me tomorrow, same time, same channel. I hope you can join us. Thanks again. I'll see you later. Take care.